Hey everyone, welcome. You ever look at some of the world's most innovative companies and just wonder, how do they do it? How do they build these amazing products? Well, a lot of the time, the secret sauce is something called Scrum. And today, we're going to tear down its engine, piece by piece, and see what makes it tick.
So let's kick things off with a question that I think we've all faced. Imagine you're building something huge, something complex, like a house or a new software app. How on earth do you plan for that when you know things are going to change? You just can't predict everything from the start. And that's the exact problem that frameworks like Scrum are designed to tackle head-on.
All right, part one, from vision to backlog. Every great project starts with that big, exciting idea, right? But you can't just build a dream, you need a plan. So how do you get from that high-level vision to something your team can actually work on? Let's get into it.
It all begins with what we call the product vision. Think of this as the final, beautiful rendering from an architect. It's not the detailed, nitty-gritty blueprint yet. Nope. It's the picture that shows you what this amazing house will look like when it's done. It answers the big question, what problem are we solving, and for whom?
Okay, so you have this inspiring picture. But you can't just hand that to a construction crew. You've got to break it down. We start by splitting that big vision into what we call epics. These are the large features, like the kitchen or the master suite. Then we slice those epics down even smaller into user stories, which are super specific requirements like, as a homeowner, I want a double oven so I can cook for large gatherings. See how that works? From huge to tiny.
And when you've done all that slicing and dicing, what you're left with is this incredibly important thing, the product backlog. This is it, the single source of truth. It's the master to-do list for the entire project. It's literally the inventory list for our house, from the foundation concrete to the plumbing, all the way down to the specific doorknobs for the upstairs bathroom.
So, part two, prioritizing what matters most. We've got our giant to-do list, our backlog. It could have hundreds of items on it. Now, where in the world do you start? You can't do it all at once. You need a way to figure out what's most important, right now.
And a really popular, super simple way to do this is called the Moscow method. It's great because it forces you to make tough decisions. You group everything into 4 buckets. Must-haves. These are the absolute non-negotiables, like the login screen. The app is useless without it. Should-haves. Really important, but maybe there's a workaround for now, like a forgot password feature. Could-haves. These are the nice-to-haves, the cherry on top, like a dark mode. And finally, won't-haves. Not right now, at least. This whole system makes sure you build the foundation and walls of the house before you start picking out curtains for the guest room.
Okay, part three, estimating the effort. So we know what to build, and we know the order. But the next big question is, how big is each piece of work? How much effort is this actually going to take?
Now, this is a really important concept in Scrum, so lean in. Most of us are used to estimating in hours or days. The problem? We're usually terrible at it. Life happens, interruptions happen. So Scrum teams often use something different called story points. And here's the key. Story points don't measure time, they measure effort. They're a relative size. It's a combination of complexity, risk, and just the sheer amount of work. So you're not asking, will this take 8 hours? You're asking, is this a small, medium, or large piece of work compared to everything else we have to do? It's a total game changer.
So how does a team actually agree on a number? Well, a really common and kind of fun way is a technique called planning poker. Here's how it works. The product owner explains a story. Then everyone on the team thinks about it and privately picks a card with a number on it, like 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Then everyone shows their card at the same time. If the numbers are all over the place, the people who voted highest and lowest explain why. I think it's an 8 because you forgot about this tricky part. Oh, I thought it was a 2 because we already built something similar. You talk, you clarify, and you vote again until everyone's on the same page. It's all about getting to a shared understanding.
Part four, the sprint work cycle. Okay, check this out. We have our list, it's prioritized, and it's estimated. Now it is finally time to get our hands dirty and build something. And in Scrum, this happens inside a steady, repeating rhythm, the very heartbeat of the whole process.
And that heartbeat is called the sprint. A sprint is just a short, fixed period of time, usually like 1 or 2 weeks, maybe up to 4, where the team is laser-focused on one thing, taking a chunk of work from the backlog and turning it into a finished, usable piece of the product. This is where the magic happens. In our house analogy, a sprint is like the 2-week push to get all the framing done. It's pure execution.
And here's the beautiful part. Every single sprint has the exact same structure. It's a reliable loop. You start with sprint planning, where the team pulls in the work they can commit to. Every day, you have the Daily Scrum to keep everyone aligned. And at the very end, you have two super important feedback sessions, the sprint review and the sprint retrospective. And as soon as one sprint ends, the next one begins. It's this constant, predictable cycle of work.
Let's talk about that Daily Scrum for a sec, because this is one of the most misunderstood meetings in all of business. People think it's a status report for the boss. It is absolutely not. This is a quick 15-minute huddle for the team, by the team. The whole point is to coordinate and clear roadblocks. Each person just answers 3 simple questions. What did I do yesterday to help us hit our goal? What am I doing today to help us hit our goal? And most importantly, is anything stuck in my way?
All right, part 5, inspect and adapt. So the sprint is done, the work is finished. This is where we get to the core philosophy of Scrum. This is where the real improvement happens. It's all about taking a moment to pause, look at what you just did, and figure out how to be better next time. It's driven by 2 powerful feedback loops.
And those 2 loops are the sprint review and the sprint retrospective. It's absolutely crucial to understand the difference. The sprint review is all about the product. You show off what you built to stakeholders, and you ask the question, did we build the right thing? Is this valuable? Then you have the sprint retrospective. This one's about the process. The core team gets together, just them, and they ask, did we build it the right way? What went well? What was a struggle? How can we work better as a team? One is about the what, the other is about the how.
Now, for that retrospective to actually work, you need trust. People have to feel safe enough to be honest. And that's where something called the prime directive comes in. A lot of teams will read this out loud before they start. It basically says, we're going to assume that everyone did the best job they could with the information and resources they had. It's not about blame, it's not about pointing fingers, it's about looking at the process and making it better for everyone, together. And that, right there, is what closes the loop. The feedback you get on the product during the review, that goes right back into prioritizing the backlog. The improvements you identify for your process in the retrospective, you put those into action in the very next sprint. It's a powerful, continuous cycle of building, checking your work, learning, and improving over and over again.
So I want to leave you with this one thought to chew on. Take a hard look at your own team, at your own meetings. Are they just empty rituals? Are you just going through the motions? Or are they real, genuine opportunities to inspect what you're doing and adapt? Are you actually getting a little bit better every single week? It's something